Welcome to Ask Me Anything. Last week we talked about all the different things going on within our environment, a lot of things that we're not in control of. And somebody posed the question, when we see these things happening within our environment, our world, that brings us sadness or anger, what can we do about it and how do we go about releasing ourselves from it? So there's a couple of ways for you to think about when you have sadness or anger buried in your body. Most of the time, when we have sadness bubble up because we're experiencing an event that's happening outside of ourselves, like last week it was around the school shootings, or it could be about the war in Ukraine, it could be about anything where you have sadness bubbling up. One of the first things that you want to do is ask yourself the question, what am I sad about in this moment? Do I feel helpless? Do I feel a lack of control? Do I feel a sense of fear? Do I feel like, the world isn't what I want it to be? Whatever your response is, the next thing to do is ask yourself the question, when else did I feel this in my life? So, for instance, around these school shootings that we're having, we've had an unbelievable amount of school shootings, and every time they happen, there's always this flurry of never again. Congress is going to take care of it. State and local officials will make sure our kids are safe, teachers and parents are safe within, and then it happens again. And so for me, when the school shootings happen, I feel like there's a lack of control. Like there's nothing that we can do about it. It keeps happening over and over again, and gun legislation isn't changing enough that people that shouldn't have guns do have them. And so, what can I do when I see yet another school shooting happening, or just something in our universe happening that's random? So, the first thing I would go to is, when else did I feel helpless or out of control? And I try to go back to your earliest memories. So I try to go back to my earliest memories. When you feel whatever the feelings are, when you are experiencing something and sadness or anger is bubbling up, ask yourself the why. Why am I feeling this way? And then ask yourself, what other time in my life did I feel like this? Because that's the originator of the sadness. The event that's happening is actually triggering up those deeper feelings of sadness. Now, when you feel the sadness coming up, so you might understand the why. So, in my case, I feel helpless about the school shootings. And I don't pretend to know the answer, but I know that we're not doing enough. So if I look at where in my life did I feel helpless and where did I think I was not doing enough, whatever was happening in my environment, maybe the adults weren't doing enough, I would go back to that place, understand that, and then imagine the event differently. Because as we perceive I'm helpless, what we're really doing at an early age is planting into our minds that when things go on around us, we feel helpless. And that sadness gets buried in. And the most important thing to do is try to flip that belief for yourself. How you flip a belief is by going back to the event, reimagining your helplessness to be something where you might feel empowered, or you might feel engaged, or maybe the adult stepped in and did something to support you so you felt supported. Whatever your belief is, you want to reimagine the event in a different way so that the empowered event gets lodged in your mind. You see, our minds don't know what's real and what we're perceiving. And if you're ever in a room with 5 or 6 different people and an event happens, every single person will perceive it differently. Because as we look at an event, we're looking through our special lenses. And our special lenses gets created for us when we're really young, when our neural pathways are being formed, when we're clear on what is going on that's causing us to respond in this way. That's the special lens. So most people, when they're children, have a lot of special lenses. And I'll share this story. When my sisters and I all went skiing a while back when I was, in my late teens, and we started to talk about our home life and our parents, you would think that we were brought up by 4 different sets of parents and we lived in different homes because of how we each perceive something. So that was my first lesson, that, like, the truth is different for everyone because it's based on our sets of beliefs that we hold. Now, the sadness or the anger is tied to those beliefs. So if we hold limiting beliefs about ourselves, about our capabilities, about the way in which we show up in the world, or that we have the support we need, then that leads to the energy of sadness or anger, because when the events happen, we feel sad or angry because we don't have what it is that we need. And I'm using the term sadness or anger, but both of those energies are energies that are stored in our body and are not helpful for us. So the more you can release the sadness or anger that comes up, the better off you'll be. So if you're watching the news and you see something and it brings up all the sadness, the process is to ask yourself why. What's my belief around this? When did I experience that belief? And then when you get in touch with feeling that emotion, you say to yourself, I no longer need to carry this energy. Now, to release the energy, if it's in your chakra system, you can open your chakra by turning the energy counterclockwise. So you put your hand, say I have something in my third eye. I put my hand in front of my chakra, I turn counterclockwise, that's opening it up, and I ask for the sadness with intention to release. Now, I know when it's released because usually I'll feel a couple of things. I might feel brighter, I might feel lighter, I might feel more at ease. I might just get the sense like, okay, it's done, whatever it is. And then when you want to put your more empowered belief, so I said, for me, when I see those school shootings, I go to a helpless place. So I want to put in that I'm empowered to manage or make change or to support whatever needs to be done. So I put the energy of empowerment in, and how I do that is I bring the white light from the universe, I connect to empowerment energy, and I just imagine that energy flowing into the chakra and then down through my whole body. Once you do that, then you close the chakra by turning it clockwise. That closes it up. And you make a mantra for yourself, because remember, the brain now is programmed to think a certain thing. And in my case, the example I gave you, it was programmed to feel helpless when events happen outside of me. And now I want to program it to feel empowered to make change, empowered to do something different. So my mantra might be, I'm empowered to support, connect, or shift whatever is going on around me by using my energy, using my thoughts, setting my intention. I'll use any trick or tool that I have. So that is the process of when sadness or anger comes up. It probably is triggered by the event right in front of you. But again, I want you to use it as a way to go back and heal something for you. To ask yourself that question, where else or when else have I felt this way in my life? And it's really not about the school shooting, it's about what that shooting represents for you. So if you feel out of control, if you feel like there's no support in the world, those are things that you felt as a child. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you listen to my podcasts, there are a lot of podcasts around how to shift your energy up, where I share some other tools. All right, everyone, have a fantastic day, and let me know if this was helpful and if you have any other questions around it. Take care.